Hey, we're back.
I just ate lunch and I'm feeling good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
This is episode 12.
Is that many episodes?
Yeah, it's 12th episode. This is Max part 2.
Hope you enjoyed part 1.
Yeah, it was great.
Very in-depth guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Talented guy. And can we say champion?
Yeah, two-time.
Two-time.
Super Bowl champion, Max Stearns.
We got a few emails.
We got one email. It's from one of your
Just
buddies.
one?
Yeah, it's just one. It's from Mario.
Ah, my boy.
Corey, how did your football career help you with your camera career?
Well, hand and eye coordination. You got to track a ball to catch a ball. Same thing. Tracking a ball. You just focusing.
You got some video.
Okay.
Ready? Here we go. You playing for Monterey at this time, or are you in Monterey?
Hands was in Monterey. Hands.
There you go. Was that a routine catch?
Nah, man, it's a hard catch, man. But the director said it was a routine catch.
Routine catch. Oh, well, replay. Look at that. Nice effect.
Shout out to the director.
Here we go.
Oh, in traffic?
Yeah,
a little grainy film, but in traffic.
Yeah.
You know.
Next one's not so great. This is better.
Hold up.
So you go up there, high point.
I almost got my head taken off.
Not really a high point, is it? No. And then we have this.
Where you find this at?
We have people everywhere.
You know, half speed post route. Oh,
well, that was young.
That's a horrible ball.
That was a horrible football.
Love you, Sean.
Right.
But I told you we was going up. You threw it up. I was jogging, but you know, saw the calf muscles over there. They look good. I got those Donnie Cornell.
That's right, Donnie.
And those Matt Regenball.
Beautiful stuff.
Sorry.
It's all right.
All right.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. Who are these two people here doing this?
That's the director.
Yeah.
And Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. It's funny you say that because the director told me he does not know who Jim Brown was.
Everybody
I do not know who Jim Brown is.
Everybody knows Jim Brown. Remember, Jim Brown went to movies after he finished playing. Shout out to Rich Russo, the director. That's my main man.
Rich Russo was an All-American.
Well, you got to have a quick stick.
At Penn State. Had a heck of a career. Had what was it?
10 goals.
10 goals in the game. He will correct you. So get
really?
Oh,
that's a quick. That's a quick.
I just want to see the film.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if we're gonna ever see that.
Shout out to Rich Russo,
There we go.
the director.
And I want to know what was going on here. This is in Chicago last week. Someone caught you doing this. What is going on here?
Hey, baby. Hey, listen. They know a star when they see one.
Oh my gosh.
I was missing everything but the ink pen and the sign stuff, man.
Is it true that you went up to that kid beforehand and said,
No.
hey man, when I walk out, stick your hand out,
No.
and then you went back in the tunnel and came out?
I was going in the tunnel to go use the bathroom. I was coming out, kid had his hand out. I said, oh man, I'll make it, Dave. I mean, he said, I see a star. I said, I know. See a star, handshake a star. Look at that. What's up, baby? And that's what I did to him. I said, what's up, baby? Yeah, great technique.
Yeah.
Stay focused. Yeah. You know.
I think the director was the one that said you went in and told the kid to do that.
The director.
Rich Russo, the director. The director.
It's my guy, man. Love you, Rich.
All right, we're going to move on to the main event this week. You want to introduce it?
Oh.
Part
two. I got it. Okay. I mean, he didn't give me no time, Mario. I mean, goodness. Gotta give me a second to introduce it. It's part 2. You know what? That's what I'm leaving you at the end of the season.
No,
he's going solo. I'm done. There he is. Because he don't give me no time. No. Introducing part 2. Max Starks. Enjoy. Watch. Turn it up. Tune in. Do what these people are doing in the background.
When you're looking at kind of that Skycam overview, you want to know that because, I mean, early in my career, we were responsible for calling the hots for our quarterbacks. So we would take Ben off of a hot if we just wanted to lock it up and give him a tight pocket. And, you know, eventually you got to the point where it's like, no, I don't want this because sometimes I want that hot because I want that guy to be open and I need that guy to blitz for me to see it. So it changed over like years after year 3, year 4 and beyond. That's when Ben was like, nope, let me go on it. It's my job.
Wow.
So that changed that relationship, but it also taught me an invaluable lesson. I learned how to read shells, defenses, and then work from there.
I had one more thing, not one more thing. In replay sequences on television, how do you feel you would adapt as the pictures were coming to you? I mean, are you more into teaching or the entertainment side, or a little bit of both? I think you probably could do a mix of both. I'm sure you can, because I've talked to a few of your friends, and I know your locker room show is very entertaining with Craig, and so I know you have a big personality, and you can probably take everything as it comes towards you, it comes at you. To me, like in football, it's a producer's job to put you as an analyst in the position to succeed, particularly at the beginning, and then as you progress, you figure out what you want, and you feel comfortable. You eventually feel comfortable asking for different angles, and that's exactly what I think the analyst should do. The analyst should drive the broadcast, in my opinion. You're the pro. I think that should happen.
Well,
How do you
and
feel
also,
so sorry.
Well, no, I'm just going to say, because you have the power of the visual media, right? It allows to drive that interest. So now the analyst can now get more nuanced for you, because you have the football diehards up here, and then you have the casual. Maybe I'll get to see Taylor Swift, or maybe I just want to see the highlights and the scores, and everything in between there. So for me, I want to have a good balance of education, but not a college professor teaching ancient history, right? I want to have a knowledge base for that, but also have fun with it, because at the end of the day, we're watching and viewing and producing a game, something that we've loved since we've been kids. So the gold standard is John Madden, right? He had the perfect balance of educating for everyone while still having fun and not taking himself too seriously. And I think that's what we aspire to as broadcasters. And that's what I hope broadcasters continue to aspire to. You want to make this game comfortable, enjoyable, something you could watch in a bar with greasy fingers from digging in nachos. But also, if you're sitting at home and hosting, a party and everybody's quiet drinking wine, everybody feels good about their environment, and that you can meld the two of those together. So I always try and make sure that I'm balancing the funny with the serious, understanding the gravity of the moment, giving the right pitches to the excitement level to keep fans engaged. But at the same time, you want to make sure you leave something from the broadcast learning something new. You want to say, man, I didn't know that before, but I'm glad I tuned in, because I wouldn't have understood this.
So do you feel you have to explain more in detail when you're doing radio compared to when you're doing TV broadcast?
Absolutely. Because the fan doesn't have eyes. All they have are ears. So now I need to get into their minds and paint the picture for them. So now you become Basquiat, you become Picasso, because you have to paint the situation, the imagery, what the feeling is as if you were watching this. So you use a lot more descriptive words, you use more adjectives, you change the intensity of your voice, because the fan can't see it. For that guy that's running an I-10 route, trucking, going from LA all the way to Texas, or all the way to Jacksonville even, you want to make sure that they can be engaged and not feel they're so separated that they need to watch a TV. You want to be able to paint it in their mind so that they can feel the action, even though they don't get to see it.
I know a lot of people who, my Falcon friends, they would watch the actual home radio broadcast and then just turn their TV on mute.
Yes, exactly. And that's the
They
goal.
feel like they get more out of the home broadcast by how much they explain it and everything of that nature. So, I mean, I don't know. Have you heard that before? People doing that?
Man, in Pittsburgh years ago. Yeah.
You'll see people in the stadium with the old school Walkman headphones with the antenna up top, watching the game and listening to our broadcasts. So, no, it's not uncommon. And I think that's the fun thing. The funny thing is, when I watch some Monday night broadcasts, I'll go sit in my truck and look at the TV through my office, because I enjoy hearing Kevin Harlan. I enjoy hearing Kurt Warner on the broadcast, and their descriptions are so much better. And of course, me being, a radio guy, I love to hear other broadcasters that do really well on the actual radio broadcast. So I want to hear more of them. So it's not uncommon, and it's something that I can actually appreciate. And, we always love to have more ears, because we got the same amount of ears as we do eyes. So, use them both if you need to. You don't need to rely on just one or the other.
I would think with streaming in the future that they're going to be able to give you options on all of your audio. You can do home radio, away radio, national, or just I would listen. To be honest with you, sometimes I would listen to the game just natural sound, just to hear what's going on the field, because I find that fascinating at times. You mentioned Coach Madden before. I worked with him for like 5 years. He was the best. He would take everything as it would come to him, and even when he did not like a picture that was being put on television, Max, he would still do his job, being as descriptive as he could. Now, in talk back afterwards, he would let the producer and director know if he wasn't happy with it. But that's what separated him from everybody, I think, because now I don't know if you see it. I can watch some broadcasts, and if the analyst doesn't know what to say, he will not even say a word about anything. He'll just let the picture just play out and not say a word. So I think you're on the right track with Coach Madden there. I mean, I think it's everything, and Corey and I were talking about earlier, it's become so, and not that there's anything wrong with it, it's become so quarterback-centric now because all the main analysts and all the major networks are quarterbacks, with the exception of maybe Collinsworth. That's about it, right, Corey? I mean, we were talking.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I think the game is won and lost in the trenches, as we all know.
The big uglies.
And they'll always give credit where credit's due because they know that they're not going to be able to do anything without you guys,
Exactly.
holding it up for them. But I think it's become very quarterback centric. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me as a broadcaster, you always want more opportunities, right? For guys, like myself, that are offensive linemen that understand the game from a very different level. And like you said, when you think about the television broadcast, I mean, you have Moose Johnston and you have Mark Schlereth, right? But really, like you said, everything's driven by the quarterbacks because people want that mind. Everybody wants to feel like they're a quarterback, right? Every kid wants to be the guy throwing the ball for 500 versus the guy catching the ball for 500 if they had a choice. And so I get that kind of bias in it. But, giving different perspectives allows for more variety, and people can pick and choose what they like. But having that option available, I think, is something that, we should always continue to strive for with that, and not to throw the word diversity out, but giving people multiple options and that diversity in what they want to hear and how they want to ingest a football game from a week-to-week basis. And the one thing that's beautiful about in Pittsburgh, my color analyst is an offensive lineman. The one before Tunch Ilkin, right? I have Craig Wolfley now. Tunch Ilkin. Tunch was an offensive lineman. And those guys have done the broadcast for the better part of 25 years for the Steelers. And it's a different perspective. It allows for it to be kind of that fun moment where you get to listen to it because, who doesn't like a good food analogy in the middle of football? I mean, how many calories are we ingesting in that 3 to 4 hour span anyways? So you might as well have some fun analogies that relate with that as well.
Right.
And quarterbacks, eat more healthy than us. So, that's great if I want trail mix and granola bars. But, I mean, if you want to know where the best nachos are and what some of my favorite toppings are, I could roll that into any type of physical 4th and 1 play. Give you a great analogy that you can see and probably put your fingers in and taste.
Well, Mac, let me ask you this. If you had a choice, I'm not going to say which one do you love the most, but if you had a choice, would you prefer to do a pregame studio show or actually doing the game?
Game is number one. Studio is great when you have a good group of guys around you and you can build that bond over time. It becomes the locker room.
Yeah.
You don't get that energy that a stadium gives. I mean, it's essentially, the difference of trying to stick your finger in a light socket and unsuccessfully finding the voltage versus grabbing some jumper cables that's hooked up to a car battery that's revving up, right? It's that environment on steroids. Yeah. And to feel the crowd, to hear the crowd, the passion, the boos, the cheers, it does something to you that naturally allows you to elevate your game because you're meeting the energy of everybody around you. And it's a fun thing. Like when I do broadcasts, I love the windows up. Give me all the crowd. I want to hear the Yinzer in front of me that just spent $12 on a beer and is pissed off about that. But yet his quarterback just threw a touchdown, right? I want to feel that emotion of that individual. And that just gives you life, and that makes the broadcast that much more fun. And because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a game, and you got to have fun. But when you play a game, you're having fun. I don't know what games you want to play that aren't fun, or you don't play it that often. You're probably playing it because you were forced to. But all the games that we pick and naturally gravitate towards are the things that make us happy, the things that transport us away from our current situation, allows us to be in a different place for that 3 to 4 hour span in a week, where I get to cheer for what I love, my team, and I get to watch the success, throw my bad call brick at the TV when it's bad, high five people in the stands if I'm there, and all of those in between emotions together, it makes for a fun environment. That's why I love game broadcasts.
So what do you miss the most about putting on your helmet, and what do you love the most about picking up your mic?
So what I miss most about the helmet, locker room camaraderie.
There we go.
Right? Having 60 plus guys in a room, all with the same goal. And all of life's tribulations, trials, triumphs, laughs, cries, having that support system of those other men that are going through the same thing as you in this process of professional excellence, but the human side of it and being able to share. Because the other great thing about a locker room is there is somebody that's been through or going through the same thing that you're going through, and you learn that you're not unique, and that you're special, but you're not that special in your circumstance. So it forces you not to go into a shell. It forces you to communicate, to have camaraderie, to be able to connect with other people. I love the beauty of that aspect of it. And then when you go out, put that helmet on, and as Ron Wolfley likes to say, one of the guys I work with, 98.7, you paint your heart with you paint yourself with a dark heart, and to go on out there on the field and do battle and be a gladiator for 4 hours, and hopefully you inflict more pain than you receive, and then you get that joy of winning together and knowing that, hey, we came together, we set a goal, we accomplished it for this week. Is an awesome feeling. Now, what I love about the mic is I get to describe that to people now, because not everybody's played football, not everybody's been to the level that I've been or my teammates have been before. So to be able to try and transport that emotion to them so they can get somewhat of a feel of that is great joy. And like I said, I come from a family of educators. My mom's side, all of them were teachers. So I love teaching people things. And I love teaching, of all things, this great sport called football that I love so much.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, well. So you won the Super Bowl your rookie year.
Second year.
It was the second year. Okay.
We lost to the New England Patriots.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So,
sorry. sorry, we got our years wrong.
Hey, we beat them in the regular season and stopped their undefeated streak, but then we played them later in the year, and it was absolute lamb-based. They steamrolled us to go to Super Bowl 39. So, not that I remember that or anything.
All right, we'll change subjects here. I think it's an interesting question. What do most players in the locker room and on the field think of the camera guys being out on the field during the pregame? I know it pisses a lot of guys off. And we have guys that both Corey's one of those guys. He was out in the field, and we have a legendary camera guy with us. His name's Don that we work with, and he has gotten into it with many players, particularly one guy from Green Bay, used to wear number 12. But I made I know you made a decision to become a part of the media. Like, and do they understand like why they're out there? I'm sure they do understand. It's just that they don't want them in their way, right? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we understand the necessity of it, right? Everybody wants the access. Everybody wants to see kind of those moments, right, where it's not as tense, but what is the preparation and the build-up to a game? So everybody wants those pregame shots. Guy has headphones on, or guy's trying to get in the zone. You want to capture that emotion on his face in that moment. But sometimes if the guy runs, the hash marks on the left side from goal line to the 20, don't step on the hash marks at the 12-yard line, right, while he's running that.
Right.
And so it's like because this is my routine, and I'm one of those guys. I was very ritualistic in my routine. Like, I knew every time I came out, I had to have my pads aligned in the same place in my locker and put my pads in my pants. Now they don't do that as much anymore because you can wear them almost like biker shorts. Anyways, but I had a routine, and I had a playlist that was choreographed at every single moment during my warm-up routine, I should be doing something at this point of every song, and I had it memorized. And so anything that throws you off of that is, it's okay to be off to the sides and come up and get that moment while it's not in the middle of active work. But it's another thing that if I'm trying to catch this guy running this warm up and doing his high knees, okay, that's like, hey man, hey, I need you 10 yards, 5 yards over here. You can catch me from this angle, just don't get in front of me because I have something I'm focusing on. So it's that delicate balancing act. But I think the guys now today are more accepting of that just because they have access to social media. They've grown up in this digital age where you have more options. You don't have to sit through the commercial breaks to continue watching your cartoons. You can go to a streaming service and get all the cartoon out in one sitting, and I'm done for the day. So in that environment, like, guys understand that there is a necessity for it, but within these parameters on how we do it. And they're more accepting versus my era, when guys would come up and try to put a camera in James Harrison's face, he's out mugging in or you know what I'm saying?
No problems.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, no smoke.
Yeah.
Really.
No, there's no doubt that there are a lot of camera guys that are overzealous as well. They're trying to prove themselves too. We had a guy last year. He'd been around a while. NFC Championship game, Max got run over by Nick Bosa. It was like a freight train hit this guy, and we were like, "Whoa!" And I know the guy, and I felt horrible for him. And there was no doubt he was hurting. But you're right. It's you guys have your routine. It's our job to get our shots around what you do, right? I mean, that's the way I agree with you there.
Yeah,
So, Matt,
100%.
we're within the framework.
this is my last question. And I want to ask you this. Your post-career, one thing you took from Tomlin, one thing you took from Bill that you live by.
I mean, the first one, with Mike Tomlin, he always said the standard is the standard. Like that's been his catchphrase. That I think a lot of us former players that played for him kind of have that same ethos, right? The standard is the standard. So you're either meeting it or you're not. And that kind of drives everything that you do, right? When I'm doing a broadcast, when I'm doing my prep, standard is the standard. It kicks in your mind. But the other one was early on, he doesn't use it as much anymore, but it was called, it was the more you can do. And that's how I approach broadcasting. I was like, I don't want to just be a guy that sits in the studio, that sits in front of a camera, or a guy that just sits and does one thing. The more you can do makes you harder to cut. And that's what he always said. And so that's why when you talk about my internship, I went and did everything behind the camera to learn and understand that and what goes into a program or content creation or an actual broadcast going live, because I wanted to have a better knowledge working base of it, what can and can't be done. And who are those individuals that make the game go? Because at the end of the day, I'm just the puppet sitting up there, right? I just don't have a ventriloquist with his hand up my butt. But we're there to add the additional aesthetics. So the more you can do was always something. And he had a shirt that said, "Use me." And we all wore it early on our first couple of years. And it was a shirt that said, I wore it under my pads every game from the day he got it to us. It was sitting in my locker. And I just always tried to transport myself mentally to that, because I knew that the more you could do was always going to lead to making it tougher to be replaced.
Wow.
True.
And then BC, for BC, he had a lot of quotes and everything, but it was more so about the physical action, right? It was the emotion of the game. He wanted to see that you cared. So my job was to always, because I'm more introverted than I am extroverted, in my own personal life. And so, for me was make sure you show the appropriate emotion for the situation, gravity of the situation, and I always appreciate that. And the one thing I'll take from BC is, everybody deserves a chance, because he gave me a chance, right? By drafting me. He didn't have to. He could have picked amongst the other 456 available guys that you could have picked. The fact that you took a chance on me, and I always wanted to prove him right. And so, that type of kind of service, that thoughtfulness, that empathy of saying, this guy actually fits what I think we're trying to do. Now my job is to go prove him right. So they both gave me something different, whereas one kind of, had the words and the other one had the actions. And I think for them, that's what married great about my experience with playing for both of them, was that they both gave me those different aspects to really work on and continually live by.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love
Matt,
it.
this has been wonderful. We can't thank you enough for doing this for us. Seriously,
No,
it's been awesome.
My pleasure, man. This is awesome. Can't wait to see it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we'll put it on YouTube. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get over 300 people watching.
Yeah.
We're hoping for better than that. But maybe you never know. You could put something out there on X. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. It's like, hey, just send it to me. Just send it to me. It's nothing.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, exactly. Retweet button is free. I don't have to pay sponsorships.
Max, you are the man. Thank you so much for joining us, baby.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much.
My pleasure, Mario. My pleasure, Corey.
Take care, Max.
All right, boys. Take care.
Max, thank you so much, man. What an interview. Gave us 2 segments to do this with, and we appreciate you.
He really helped us to prove ourselves. We really haven't done a long form interview like that before. We do that punch.
Kick slide punch.
Slice punch. There you go.
He was great at it when you played.
It was great as he played.
He's even better in the booth. We got more guests coming, man. By the time that my journey's complete, you guys will be thrilled of the people we got coming.
I think next week we're going to have a really big guest. I'll let you know soon who it is.
Please.
I will.
And just make sure you get his 15%. I'm still looking for mine.
You don't need our money.
No. Well, that's a good hint.
He's got something that not many people have. Gold. As in a...
So he's a 49er?
Gold jacket.
He's a Notre Dame? Oh.
Gold jacket. Yeah.
Got a Hall of Famer coming on.
Yeah. Get ready.
Hey, here we go. Another segment of Ask Tony.
Ask Tony.
Here we go. Another segment of Ask Tony. Crash, what are you doing here again? You gotta go. Crash, you gotta go.
I'm not leaving this time. You push me out every time. This time I'm staying.
Well, Tony?
Well, if he's going to stay, how about I ask him some questions?
Love it.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
So you ask me questions. All right. Crash, what kind of camera you run over here, all this stuff?
Well, we got the Megalodon here.
Oh, it is a Megalodon.
It's a Megalodon.
Megadon.
That's what we're Megadon. Yeah, it's a Megadon in honor of Don. Just a Sony FX6 on a gimbal. And then we've named this the Panda Cam for a fallen friend of ours. And that's the same thing, just a FX6 on a longer lens. So that allows me to, the first half I shoot this camera, I do scores coming out of the end zone, and then I shoot fan reactions. So I kind of get the first ring of fans, close to the field. So it's nice to jump on the longer lens in the second half and be able to shoot a little deeper into the sections, since I've kind of used up that first ring of fans by the end of the first half.
Cool. All right, now a more serious question.
Yes, please.
At what point in your life did you want to be like Tony Hawk?
Oh, man. 7, maybe?
7?
8? Yeah.
I noticed,
and I'm still trying to be like Tony Hawk.
I noticed all the bruises on your shins. Is that why they call you Crash?
Well, that and I had a little trouble with news bands when I started this career.
Do you think it's time for a new headset?
I've learned that today from some of you guys. Maybe I should look into that.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start a fund. Go fund me.
You sound like crackhead Bob on the Howard Stern show. I noticed too when you skateboard, you got the helmet,
Oh, yeah.
knee pads,
Yep.
shin
Elbow
pads, elbow pads,
Yep.
knee pads.
Yep.
Do you wear a cup?
No.
No.
cup.
Should you wear a cup?
Probably. That's probably, where the brains are, right?
Yeah. Protect family jewels and all.
Yep.
You never know. Never know.
Never know. I'll look into that.
Might need a cup. Yeah.
Double helmet.
Yeah. You ever gonna call it quits?
No.
No.
I'll try not to. Try not to take my foot off the gas pedal, because that's when it all comes to an end.
That's when it all comes crashing down, right?
Exactly. Just like Tony Hawk said, till the wheels come off.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. That's Crash, yo.
Wait. I got one more question
Uh-huh.
for me in this segment. How many skateboards do you have?
Ask my wife about this. She's not happy. Probably about 36.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, some that I ride, but then I've got the collectors.
Where do you keep them?
Ones that are on my wall. Got like a display, 14 each.
He's his own skateboard shop.
Yeah, just walk basically. And snowboard shop and mountain bike shop.
How many snowboards you own?
14.
Oh, wow.
All right. Yeah. One for every type of snow.
Couple surfboards, I think I have, 10 bikes.
Surf in Colorado?
No. Go to San Diego for that.
Okay.
River surf. We can river surf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, wake surf.
Wake.
Behind the boat.
You got a wakeboard?
I had a buddy with a wake surf boat. He moved, unfortunately, so that came to a crashing halt.
Are we missing anything? How many bikes you got?
Plenty. Yeah, well, I think 10 bikes. Yeah. BMX,
you like
jump bike, mountain
Are
bike,
you like a
road
real
bike.
life advocate for X Games?
I just refused to grow up, I think. I decided not to have kids so I could be a kid the rest of my life.
Crash, thank you for not letting me push you away this time.
Yeah.
And you stand your ground.
I'm glad you stayed.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Ask Tony.
Ask Tony.
Ask Crash. There you go. But you know what? We got to close the show. Thank you guys for joining us another week. But before we go, we got a surprise for you. We go behind the scenes. Give you that exclusive look. We're taking you to the truck with our great director, Rich Russo.
Our producer, Richie Zions.
Take a look at this.
Ready, race 7. He's down. Where's the route? And race 7. Take 7. Where? Here's the route. Where? End. And go in. And then roll in. Play it. O's next. O's next. Ready, O. 15, give me Pierce. Ready, O. And roll O to Zalvo. Ready, go to 15. I got Moody on 3. Ready, go to 15. And effective 15. Ready, 3. Ready, 3. And take 3. 2 your game. 2's game. And ready, 15. Take 15. Defensive faces on knock. Ready, 9. Take 9. Ready, 8. Take 8. Ready, 2. Ready, 7. Take 7. Ready, 2. Ready, 15. Ready, 2. Take 2. All you 2. Your game. I would expect the 49ers to go to the ball and spike here. You're looking for a very high percentage throw. Keep the deep safety in there. You're good. Yep. Keep the deep safety in there.